Alrighty, so hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Asiago back at you again on 3 a.m. Thoughts. Alright, and so today we got a special guest on the show. His name is Chad. Yeah, from the podcast of the same name. So the quality ain't gonna sound, as good as it usually does, because this was done on Anchor, first of all, but it was also done on the little call feature on freaking Anchor. I'm not sure what you call it. Basically, recorded both of us over the app, over the internet, and yeah, it's just not gonna sound as good. But you know what though, the content is still pretty damn good. So we're gonna go ahead and just give it to you right now. All right, here we go.
Yo, what's going on? Man, it's been a while since I had you on the show.
I know it's been a long while, but life happens, things happen. Sometimes you don't really have the time to do the things you love.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Like especially this past 4 months, it's just been very hectic. It's been kind of like an emotional, mental, physical roller coaster, just up and down, up and down, up and down. It's been crazy, honestly. And I know I've texted you and stuff like about my problems and stuff like that, but it gets a lot deeper than that. Trust me.
Oh damn, shoot.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of typing an essay. Well, I have to type 2 essays, which are due on Tuesday, and I'm barely starting on them now. But you know how I am, bro. I get distracted very easily, and I'm like a hardcore procrastinator. But I will say this: even though I'm a hardcore procrastinator and I wait till last minute to do things, I still manage to get my shit done. Now, I don't mean to say this as a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that if you procrastinate, I'm not promoting that. But for some reason, I don't know how I've been like passing all my classes, but I just been procrastinating, waiting till the last minute, and I'm actually surprised I'm passing the classes the way I am right now because of the time that because I be waiting till the last minute to do all my shit, and it's kind of crazy how I'm still passing.
Oh yeah, I mean, but sometimes we got no other choice but to procrastinate. With life getting in the way and getting in the way of stuff. And I remember back in high school. There's this crazy guy, and like he was so crazy. In fact, he always challenged the teachers. So I remember every time the teacher would specifically tell, "Remember, you got to do your homework." He would always be like, "Don't forget to forget." And next thing you know, they would forget. He would get his homework done. It was a win-win.
Yeah, especially for a guy like me working 12-hour shifts, working, going to school, working, going to school, dealing with some relationship. I wouldn't say relationship problems, just more like I'm just gonna say life crossroads, I guess. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
like there's so much stuff I'm dealing with my life right now, and the more I'm taking college, the more I realize that hey, I don't think I'm ready to be in any kind of relationship right now. I don't think I'm ready for anything else besides just focusing on school and work right now because ever since I started school, it's been consuming all my time, dude. Like I haven't had time to do anything. My life is always busy. I'm always stressed out. I'm always like if I'm not studying, I'm asleep. If I'm not asleep, I'm working 12 to 14-hour shifts. And it's like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like shoot, man, like things just they can get pretty crazy, can get pretty hectic, and yeah, and I agree. Definitely,
Like
it's important
like
to prioritize.
I did not think college was gonna be this fucking stressful. Like I had the mindset of, oh, it's just school. I'm gonna pass. It's just like fucking. You have to fucking work on this shit. It's not like something you can't just fucking wing this shit. Like that's where I fucked up because because me, I've always just said, fake it. I'm a fake it till you make it kind of guy. I've always been that type of guy. I'll figure it out. I'll do it. I'll do it as I go. I'll figure it out as I go. I'll do things as they fit.
Yeah.
And that is a very what's the word I'm looking for? That is a very I don't even know what the word. What I'm gonna say, that's a very misconception when it comes to college. Because when it comes to college, you have to try, you have to study, you have to bust your ass, you have to do the things you need to do. Otherwise, you'll fail. It's not like high school where you just do an assignment and bam, you're good. No, this shit, you have to actually work on this shit, especially if it's online. Like, there's nobody there telling you, hey, get this shit done. No, you doing things on your own terms, on your own schedule, and it's up to you to figure out how you're gonna do it. They give you a bunch of assignments, and you just have to figure it out. And this is not something that you could just procrastinate. Well, you can, but it's like when you
Ooh, yeah. Like, uh, yeah. Like, I remember in my first year of university, like my only year of university, like, God, like, first of all, yeah, like with no accountability, with no teachers being there to say, hey, yeah, get off your rear and get stuff done. Freaking, that was one thing that was my downfall because like literally like if nobody's if you're just gonna expect me to sit here in my room full of distractions and to work on the assignment and to focus on the entire time, I'm not gonna do it. Unlike, and especially if I got work, if I come home after a freaking heavy 2 truck day, nah, I'm gonna want to focus on no homework.
oh yeah, like that's the thing, dude. Like I just been so burnt out, dude. Like I just been rethinking my life like for a good 2 months. Like I know I've mentioned it before in this past year about my relationship and shit like that, but this time I'm actually really cracking down on it. Like ever since I just started taking school, like I'm starting to realize, yo, I'm really not ready for any kind of relationship, not ready for anything in life right now. Like right now the only thing I want to focus on is my school because I have goals in my life and it feels like if I were to have anything else in my life happening right now, it would break me down because I'm already burnt out. Just going to school and going to work both at the same time. It's like it's it's very tiring. It drains the fuck out of you. Like it's like you really don't have time to do anything. You don't really have time to enjoy life. Like right now, I don't really have a life, dude. Like my off days are school. My days at work is work and school. The times that I do have time to relax, it's more like I'm broke, I don't have money to do anything, or I'm too tired to get out of my bed to just fucking do something. Like I'm just lay in bed and sleep. I'll go out a little bit, but it's not even like I'm going out. It's more like I'm draining myself out just to have another day of work.
Oh yeah.
It's I don't know why, but just past few weeks, I just been so burnt out to the point where like I don't want to do anything, bro. Like I've been laying in my bed, I can't get up. I don't even have the energy to masturbate anymore. Literally,
Oh man, things are really bad whenever it's gotten to that point.
dude. Yeah, I would share something else, but I don't believe it's a good thing to share, especially with the audience listening. But I'm not gonna share that one thing.
Well, alrighty then, but yeah, like, oh god, but yeah,
It's
and,
gotten
and
worse,
definitely
dude.
with all this stuff going on, yeah, like it's important to prioritize and think to yourself, yeah, like a relationship as at this point would just be hot garbage. Don't add it on to whatever you're doing. You'll just got focus on what you need to get done,
It's just really
and
hard, dude, because
yeah,
you know when you're with someone for that amount of time, for like relationship that I've been was like 3 years. It's a 3 year long relationship, and it's like you want to end something beautiful, but it's like at the same time you don't, because it's like you're so used to having them in your life that the fact that they've been in your life for 3 years and you have to let go and you start fresh and shit. I don't know why, but
yeah.
I feel so. See, I can't even think of the word. Like right now, I'm so drained right now. I can't even think of the right vocabulary to describe how I'm feeling. Honestly,
See, just a simple, simplified word: super exhausted.
yeah, super exhausted with my life right now. It's like it's it's very exhausting. Like going to school, going to work, trying to figure out my shit is just very exhausting. Like I can't even describe how exhausting it is. I don't know if it's just me or if you felt this way before, but it's gotten to the point where like it's gotten to the point where I'm so burnt out to the point where like I don't really give a shit about anything. I just kind of just focus on school and I don't even care about anything else. It's just I don't know. It's fucked up.
Oh yeah, I get it too. Yeah, like when there's like absolutely like no time to even just like take a take a breather. Yeah, like I mean, you kind of have to go into this whole mission, like military kind of mindset. I mean, it's kind of fun that you are in the military, but yeah, like you have to have that mindset. You're going
Bro,
into like a mental war here.
dude, it's a mental and emotional war that I'm facing right now. It's like I mean, the military life is not it's already hard as it is, bro. Like the fact that I don't have time in the military. Well, the military gives you time. It's just how you manage it just makes it that much harder because I'm going to school on my off time and I'm working my regular job. But what sucks is that you're by yourself. Like I'm here with no friends. Well, I have a few friends, but it's not like I hang out with them. You know, we all work different schedules and shit like that. And my real friends are in Texas, you know? I'm way the fuck
Yeah.
over here in California and it's like oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I fucking lost what I was gonna say.
Oh man, you see, it's that entire thing. Don't forget to forget. It's that little thing playing about.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is I signed up for 3 more classes after this semester. I got my finals next week. And you're probably wondering why I'm taking so many classes like at once. Like I could easily just choose to take only 2 classes. I could easily just choose to take 1 class and stuff, right? Like you're probably
Yeah.
wondering why the fuck you're taking so many classes. You're only working yourself harder than you have to be, you know? But here's the reason why I'm taking so many classes is because I'm leaving in April. And I want to get as much classes done as I can before I actually leave because I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to have Wi-Fi access when I actually go where I'm going, you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
I want to be able to complete as much school as I can because I'm halfway done I'm halfway through my associate's degree. I pretty much started all over because of the fact that the major that I'm majoring in doesn't align with what I do now. So I could have easily had my associate's degree already long ago, but because I changed my major and because I'm trying to do something else with my life, and I actually want to do this one thing, it's actually making me work twice as hard, kind of thing. Well, not necessarily twice as hard, but it's kind of like put me to the point where I have to pretty much start all over. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah.
But I know what I want with my life. See, my major is in psychology. I've been studying psychology for a while now, and I'm actually starting to really love it, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
Like it's a very interesting topic.
even though I've been studying psychology for all this time, I still feel like I've learned nothing. If that makes sense. Like there's so much shit that goes into it that it's like the more I read about it, the more I'm like I feel stupid because it's like I can't grasp it as much. If that makes sense.
I think it's just one of those things where like you kind of like you can learn about it, yes, and you may not retain it, but like I think as you go into the field and as you talk to different people, like a lot of what you learned in the books will actually start clicking, and you'll start like actually like kind of learning based on the hands-on field, you know.
Yeah, because ever since I started reading about psychology, I've just been addicted to it. Like I've been reading constant books about it. I've been reading a lot of psychologies back and forth. I'm like, damn.
Whew.
Like by the time I get my doctorate degree in psychology, I want to be like a master manipulator and just manipulate people to get whatever the fuck I want. I'm kidding.
Oh, I can already see it now. Oh, therapist, how can I get over my breakup? Well, if you can rob the bank down the street and just give me $500,000, I mean that would be just fine, you know?
I'm not gonna do that. You see, when I say manipulation, I mean it for a good cause. Like the only reason why I'm reading about manipulation, I read about gaslighting, I read about lying. I read about how manipulation affects us. Like, I want to understand people, why people do what they do. What is it that drives people? What makes people wake up in the morning and do certain aspects of their lives? It's more
Yeah.
of the criminology side because, like, I know I'm getting my degree in psychology, but what I really want to do is I want to be a forensic psychologist. Now, a forensic psychologist, there's so much shit that goes into it. Like, people underestimate how many things you can do in the field of psychology. When people think about psychology, they think about therapy. They think about neurologists. They think about that mental health side where you talk to someone and then bam, you take prescriptions. There's actually a lot of things you can do in psychology, believe it or not. Like, a
Really?
lot of things. Oh yeah, because ever since I took my first class of psychology, the subject interested me. And so I started reading more and more about psychology, and as I started researching, I kind of researched like jobs in psychology, and I've looked up these websites, I've looked online as I'm reading these books, and I realized that, like, as I'm researching, I'm like, damn, there's actually a lot of shit you can do in psychology. And and so I went ahead and jumped the gun and I took a personality test. Those job tests that you take that tells you what job you doubt would fit you, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, like, based off your personality, it chooses what job would fit you based off your personality.
Oh
So
yeah.
the job I got was forensic psychologist. And this was after the fact that I started reading. I was already starting to read psychology. I was reading about these books about the evil mind, the evil side of humanity, like why people commit crimes, why people fucking steal, why do people lie, why do people manipulate, why do people do these horrible things to other people, and I look at the psychology aspect of it, like, why do people kill, why do people rape, why do people, manipulate, just why do people do devious acts towards other people.
Yeah.
And so I started reading books about all this evil shit, not necessarily evil in that aspect, but evil in, like, why people do evil shit. And a lot of it does get political. A lot of it gets kind of like, it gets political. It gets kind of dark. It gets kind of like, there was actually just one book that I was reading, and it actually scared the shit out of me when I was reading it. It was like, what the fuck, like,
Yeah.
when you, it's like, it's so dark, but it's so real of what happens in our modern day society. Like, people really do this shit, and it's kind of fucked up. And I just like understanding. I just like reading about that shit, and I like to help people. And the only reason why I'm reading about that stuff is because, yes, as I mentioned earlier, I want to learn, like, the psychology aspect behind why people do things. Because maybe you can help them. Maybe you can, you know. Let's just say hypothetically, you did a crime. You fucking. Let's just say you beat up this kid, right?
Yeah.
I want to understand the psychology behind of why you did what you did, and I can evaluate you. I can study it, and then I can just analyze, like, your childhood, your past, what caused it.
Oh yeah, because I can easily say something like, "Oh, it's because the kid stole my lunch money and he called me a fat ass," But then
Well,
like you go deeper into that, and like there's a whole like a lot of childhood trauma from my childhood and all that kind of stuff. That really just kind of builds up over time to me doing this stupid thing like beating up a little kid.
so as I'm researching, so we'll go back step a little bit because I kind of went off my topic, but as I was researching about psychology, I took that personality test, and the career that I got was forensic psychologist. And as I'm looking more into it, it's like, you know what criminology is, right?
The study of criminal behavior, I think.
So yes, that's about right. So pretty much forensic psychology, they're not the ones that study crime. They're the ones who study the people who do the crime, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So Now, here's the thing: to be perfectly clear, just because you're a criminologist or just because you're a forensic psychologist doesn't mean you're dealing with criminals all the time. No, a forensic psychologist actually deals with a lot of stuff. There's actually a lot of subfields that they can branch into. Now, whenever they think about forensics, they think about, what do you think about forensics? You think about fingerprints, you think about evidence in a crime. But this is actually not what it is. It's actually dealing with courts and legals and shit like that. So, whenever there's a legal problem that is involved in need of a psychologist, that's the forensic psychologist. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, so like forensics is kind of like the how, and then the psychology is kind of like the why.
Yeah. So pretty much like anybody who's involved in court or who is on trial for a crime that they have done, and let's just say, for example, you plead crazy. Let's say you said you committed a crime, you said you were crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the judge will pretty much send you to a psychologist, aka a forensic psychologist. And a forensic psychologist will pretty much evaluate you to see if you're crazy. And then after he evaluates you, he'll pretty much tell the judge and tell him, say, hey, he's not crazy, or tell him, hey, this is what's going on with him. They're the ones who share the details. So the forensic psychologists don't really make the decision in that person's lives. They more or less decide whether or not if that person has the, like, they pretty much just evaluate that person mentally before they actually, put them on trial and shit like that. And it's not even just the courts. Like, think about the people who work in the police division. Like, let's just say if a cop that's going through PTSD, instead of sending him to a psychologist, because he's a cop and because of the legal shit that goes into it, they'll send him to a forensic psychologist instead of a regular psychologist, because a forensic psychologist is more of the law aspect of psychology. Like, they deal with more of the law, of legal actions that involve the law and the psychology behind it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So I do a very bad job of explaining myself, but I'm trying my very best. Hopefully you can understand that. Hopefully the audience can understand it. But pretty much a forensic psychologist is pretty much a psychologist, but whenever there's a legal action that needs to be taken, that's when the forensic psychologist steps in. So a regular psychologist is more like a regular civilian feeling like, oh, I feel like shit, let me go see a psychologist, But a forensic psychologist is more or less like if there's legal problems that are involved, Like, let's just say two parents are fighting custody for a child,
Yeah.
So the forensic psychologist will evaluate the parents to see if they're fit to have custody of that child, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, like you don't want to give custody to a parent that's like like secretly a murderer or has like a bunch of mental problems. And he's probably gonna like end up slicing the kid's throat because he didn't come home from school on time or something like that.
And that's what forensic psychologists do. They're kind of like in the legal law side of psychology. That's the best way I could explain it myself, based on what I've read and based on what I know. And that's something I'm trying to be in the future.
Ooh, I see.
Yeah. And it's actually a lot of shit you gotta do to get there. You need at least a doctor's degree and a year and your license to practice psychology, pretty much. And you have to have like experience as a regular psychologist before you can actually transfer into the forensic side.
Well, damn, like, what is that? Like at least 8 years of schooling, or is that just for like medical doctors?
So for the regular typical doctor, it's like what, 5 years, 6 years about, right?
Just about, yeah.
So like it's 4 years for a bachelor's, right? And then it's another 2 years for a master's, and then maybe another year for your doctorates,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about roughly 8 years of schooling, about. And here's the thing: you can have the schooling, you can get the doctor's degree, but now you need at least a year of experience before you can actually go into that field.
Oh yeah, it makes plenty of sense. You gotta be, you gotta, before you can start knowing the psychology of messed up people, you kind of gotta know the psychology of normal people, you know?
Yes, yes, and that's why I'm reading all these books to like kind of like prepare myself like in the future. You know, like I got
Yeah.
all these books in my room. I'm reading them. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm trying to understand people as much as I can. You know, it's gotten to the point where like in my free time, the little free time that I have, I'll go to a mall and I'll like people watch. Literally.
Like, not to be creepy, but just to find out, you know, just to kind of like see what they do, you know, see their motives, what makes them tick, you know?
Yeah, I just watch people see like as an MP, like you interact with people a lot. So I like to evaluate people's body language, see what is it with their body language that expresses how they are, kind of thing. How they're doing today. And I'll ask like a simple question, hey, how are you doing today? And based on their response, I'll take note on how they respond to evaluate how they are actually doing that day. You know?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I'll have like a little journal with me and I'll like write down notes and shit like that. Honestly.
Let's see.
What
You know,
what do you think
if you,
about that? What do you think
like, I
about
mean,
that, honestly?
oh yeah, like it's definitely a good strategy because like I mean think about it, you know, one guy could be lying and he'd be like, yeah, you know, everything's going good, you know, I'm doing fine, things are okay at the house, you know, but my job's pretty good. But then like the way he said it, he's like, yeah, my cat totally didn't die, and
Well,
you know, or something like that, you know.
and the thing is, it's not as simple as that, dude. Like, there's actually a lot of details you have to pay attention to, because when you're reading people, you're basically assuming based on what you have. You know, you
Yeah.
can write down all the notes, but sometimes your notes are not accurate. Sometimes you have to really interact with the person to figure out how they really are doing. You see, you can't just look at somebody and automatically assume, okay, he's having a bad day. You can't ask a simple question and they answer with a short answer, be like, okay, he's having a bad day. No, you have to actually interact with that person to actually get the information that you need.
Oh yeah, because like interacting, just listening to their story, you know, it's kind of listening to really anything is a good way to just pick at someone's brain, you know, like find out, you know, like what are their motives, you know, how do they think, and how they think can kind of give you a good idea of, you know, like what how they view the world and how like they want to interact with things, you know, kind of like with me, I listen to all kinds of different music, and not just because I just like music, but like because I even listen to stuff that I normally wouldn't listen to, like gangster rap and stuff like that. Because when you listen to the lyrics and you try to like understand where they're coming from, understand the culture, understanding, you know, like why do they say these things? Why do they advocate, you know, A and B and all that kind of stuff? And it really gives you kind of a perspective, you know, to kind of learn about people. And recently, what God has done for me is He's kind of opened my eyes to where like anything good or bad that's happening to me and the people around me, you know, you know, like I never want to like if I can see it, I don't want to waste time, you know, just seeing it. No, I kind of want to study it. No, I'm like, okay, so this is going on and this is going on. Okay, so what does this mean? You know, like what, like how are they responding to it? And if I was in that situation, how would I respond to it? You know, it just, you know, even with things going on in your life right now, you know, with the whole like everything is just kind of whole tight, you know, it's not just squeezing the life out of you. But you can use that experience to kind of help yourself out when it comes to,
You know,
you know, trying to
it's
figure
kind
out
of
how
crazy. It's kind of crazy for a guy like me who has all this mental shit going on, studying psychology. Is like, dude, like what the fuck?
I mean, it could be an advantage. You never know.
It's fucking crazy. Like, imagine a person with fucking actual mental issues studying psychology, you know? Right?
I mean,
I'm
like I
kidding.
said, like I mean, it may be a bit unlikely, but you might be that. You might you like you may have mental issues, but that may exactly what the people that you're going to be interacting with might need. You know, they kind of like connect with you a lot better than they would with just your average Joe. You know?
Yeah, it's because some people don't really understand your situation. They just, you could tell people all you want, but they're not going to understand you because they haven't actually been through what you've been through. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they can say stuff like, "Oh, it's easy for you to say." You're sitting here in a chair, with a notepad, and you're making all tons of money just by me talking to you. But then you can tell them, that yeah, you understand them on a more personal level because you've been through a lot of the stuff, yourself. And by doing that, it can establish a better
And the thing
relationship
is, like,
and stuff.
the thing about psychologists is that they're not there to solve your problems. They're there to understand
Yeah.
why you. They're there to understand why you feel the way you feel, and they give you solutions. And it's up to you to take those solutions and apply them to your life, pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, give them solutions, and then I guess I mean I don't know if you guys do this, but like maybe like I guess kind of see what they do. Kind of watch them to see if they do take the advice or not. And if they whether or not they choose to do so or not. Let's kind of see where they're going, and I'm guessing from there you can kind of
So,
figure out what to tell them next.
psychology is just one of those things where it's like, I still have a lot to learn, dude. Like, there's so much that I don't know. Like, it may seem like I know a lot about it, but I really don't. I'm kind of just winging it at this point. Like that thing that you're really interested in, but you can't really talk about it because you don't really know much about it. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm just talking based on what I know. So, disclaimer to anybody who listens to this: I'm a student myself, so don't think I know everything. Don't think I'm an expert or anything like that. No, I'm a fucking beginner, dude. I don't know shit about psychology. I read about it, but that doesn't mean I actually know about it. I learn about it, I take notes, and I try to understand it more, but it's not like you know, I'm trying my very best to learn as much as I can, but it's just so much shit for me that I have to literally like study it nonstop to actually learn it. And then I have to go out and actually apply it. And it's like there's a lot that goes into it. It's not something that you just learn overnight. There's actually a lot of shit that goes into it. It's like at first I thought it was gonna be really easy just to do, but there's actually a lot of shit. It's no wonder, like, to be a psychologist, you have to have like a doctorate degree at least to have like a good job at least, because it's like there's still so much. It takes years and years of studying and shit like that. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I would imagine you're literally dealing with just like other people, and not in the same way that like most of their fields do. Like you're actually like getting down and dirty with their minds, and even sometimes their spirits, and you're just trying to figure out, okay, just why, how, and let's see what we can do.
And you're dealing with the fucking science behind it. It's not something. It's not something where you just talk to someone and be like, okay, you're good. No, they're into it. Like, there's a science behind it. It's not just, oh, he's sad today. Here, take a pill. You're good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
man. Like this ain't the Matrix. You can't just take a blue pill and everything just goes away. No, like it's kind of like and like no, well, I'm gonna use an analogy, but it's like super, super horrible because I can't think of anything else. Like it's kind of like brain surgery. You know how they just they open up your head and they kind of look at your brain to see what's wrong with it. Well, in this case, you're kind of doing something similar, but I mean, you definitely aren't cutting off their head. Like at least I hope you're not. But you're just kind of trying to understand them. Trying to see what's going on. How and how everything is working.
Maybe I'll go be an interrogator or some shit. I don't know. I'm kidding. Psychological warfare. Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, the best warfare.
What's up?
The best warfare.
You think that's the best warfare?
I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, if you can make someone truly believe that, like, oh, well, let's see, because I think this is actually something that happened in history. Like, I remember in history class, it told us during the Cold War, and I guess you could say this is a part of psychological warfare. That Ronald Reagan was telling the communist Russians that if they were to launch a missile at America, that he had some sort of like laser, kind of like that big Death Star from Star Wars, up in space. If they were to shoot America with with a few missiles, that America would just launch a laser. It would randomly like destroy any city in Russia. you know. And the fact of the matter is, today we know that there was no laser. I mean, come on, it's the 1980s. They didn't have that kind of technology, but the Russians truly believed that. So then, like, that really stopped them from doing anything. And hey, just
You
because somebody said something and it stopped them from doing it because they believed in it, that's to me that's a part of psychological warfare because you're convincing them
that
to
is
not do
psychological, dude. Dude, psychology is very powerful. It's like it can be very dangerous too, actually. But the idea is not to use it for bad intentions. Like the idea is to help people. Like psychology is supposed to be something that you use for good intentions. Like a lot of people who are manipulators, a lot of those people who like to make you do something, they threaten you, they make all these jokes about you, they do all these horrible things to people, but it's like that is not the way to go. The only reason why I'm reading about it is because I want to learn about what triggers it so I can help people in the future. I can I
Let's
can
see.
prevent people being hurt.
Oh yeah, like, and definitely looking back into history would definitely be a good avenue to kind of like look at that kind of stuff too. Because again,
Like
like, I mean, think about it. A lot of the big major wars that went on and kind of are still going on today, like with the whole Taliban, ISIS, and Nazis, and all that kind of stuff. Again, a lot of it's because one guy, one leader, was very charismatic and is really convinced all these people to do all these ugly things, and again, if you could just find out about their psychology, that, yeah, that could probably go a long way. Just trying to understand just the regular people.
yeah, I guess the only reason why I do want to do like why I have myself in the psychology field is because I just, for one, I like to study people, and two, I want to help people. Like the whole intent of me doing forensic psychology is like maybe there's a good person in someone in a bad person. Now, just hear me out. I know it sounds kind of stupid. I know it sounds kind of like contradicting, but if I can help someone become a better person, I'm gonna do it. You know, let people learn from their mistakes. If people want to go out here and hurt people, want to fucking manipulate them, I want to understand why they feel that way, and I want to help them. You know, I could like
Yeah,
use some reverse psychology tricks, help them be a better person, help prevent these people from doing bad things to other people, like the criminals who make mistakes. You know, some of them are really bad. Some of them did it on purpose. Some of them did it unintentionally, and I want to be there to combat that. Understand it.
oh yeah, because like a lot of times, people do what they do because like, it was, again, it could be
Because
unintentional. Maybe one series of events led to another, or maybe they planned on
here's the way I
later.
see it. Based on what I've read and what I've learned, is that we all have this evil side behind us. We all have this dark side in us. We
Yeah,
just don't really act on it. But the people who actually do, there's a deeper meaning behind it. Like, why do
yeah,
people do what they do? Why did they do it this way, not do it this way? What is something I can do to help this person to prevent him from doing future trauma? It's mainly talking to people, those who are experiencing trauma, PTSD, you know, BPD, like people who have these issues in their lives, and I want to be able to help them.
yeah.
Depression, anxiety, all those things.
Oh yeah, like, and I think for a lot of it, I don't think there's a way to truly combat it or like to truly 100% prevent it. But I think I think the one of the most important things that as a psychologist you could do for them is, well, first of all, yeah, like just provide ways of for them to like power through it, but also just like helping them any kind of way, helping them power through it, give them the mental tools that they need to kind of like, again, like you can't exactly fight it off, but you can kind of like, become stronger than it. It's still inside you, but it ain't controlling you.
Yeah, man, it's a lot that goes into it. It's like we could talk about this all day long. I've read about it. I can't really talk about it because I'm still learning about it myself, you know? And that's the thing
Yeah.
about me is that when I read something, I'll know about it, but it's really hard for me to explain it because it's like I'm still learning this shit myself, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you have to really study hard to learn this shit, and there's a lot of schooling to do. And that just goes back to what I was talking about earlier, is that I really don't have time to do anything because I'm studying all this stuff. I'm trying to reach my goals. I'm trying to be the best product of myself I can be, you know? And me having everything else going on is kind of like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about all that, honestly? About my goals and shit.
Oh yeah, like in a lot of ways, yeah, it's like I would definitely say it's noble for one, because like again, like just learning this kind of stuff, like again, just helping people in a way that not a lot of other people can, because like anybody can help somebody else, like just about any average Joe can help someone else financially or give them like an extra hand, you know, if they need help or whatever. But being able to like really go down and dirty inside their brain and truly like give them that kind of help, that again, like not every single person can give them, because you know, again, kind of like a group chat, you know, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and for some of us, we don't have that same kind of life experience or same kind of trauma, so we can't really say anything, you know, and at least not anything impactful to kind of help them out. You know, it's like only those who had that kind of same kind of background.
There's a specific person in a chat that's always rumbling about some shit that's going on in his life. And here's the thing, bro. Like, he's messaged me and stuff like that, and I've tried to help him, you know. And here's the thing. I give advice based off my experience and based off my judgment. But I don't know if it's the right kind of, you know, advice or, you know, or anything. I literally just give advice based off my experiences. And, you know, I'm not saying that my advice is going to help you, but based on my experiences, it'll probably be best if you listen, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he really listens to me, you know?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about the whole, you know, how, you know, as a, you know, as a psychologist, you know, you can give, you know, suggestions, or like you can give them solutions, but it's still ultimately their choice to actually like take that, you know, decision, you know, take that choice and make it, you know.
And
So,
because he didn't take my advice, they spammed the chat today. I was gonna
oh
jump in. I was gonna jump in and say and you didn't listen to me. Now you're in that position, but I'm not that kind of person. But in my head, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, if you would have just listened to me, you would have been okay.
well, yeah, like exactly. You know, it's, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff, like you may be helping someone out, but it's still a two-way street. You know, they're giving you solutions. Now it's your turn. You know, the kind of take action. You know, take charge. You know, in what you can do. Take charge in your mental health. Like again, you've been given the tools. Are you going to use them? Or are you just going to sit down and cry about your problems all day?
Oh yeah. I have so much psychology books, bro. I can go on and on about it.
Well, I
But
mean,
I'm reading them.
there ain't no time limit on this podcast, so I mean, I say go all out if you want to.
I literally have to count them, dude. Like, if you're on the regular chat, I could show you. But you've seen my book collection, right? 1, 2,
Oh yeah, it's quite impressive.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. I have 65 books right now.
Ooh, 4 more and it'll be nice.
So this is just psychology books. This doesn't count my other books.
Yeah,
But
that's a lot of knowledge, though. I mean, it's a really good thing that you're really getting into this topic too.
and the thing is, here's the thing that's really messed up, dude, because it's so much books, but I haven't even read half of them yet. because I don't have time to read them. But the reason why I buy them is because I find it so interesting that I can see myself reading this book eventually. I'm reading a I'm reading a book one at a time. You know, I like to really read a book and I like to really take notes on it. I like to learn from that book. You know,
Yeah.
and so with college and work and all this other shit going on, I don't even have time to read the books I actually want to read. Before, I had time to read books because it was like I had a simpler schedule. Everything was good, you know. I was working your typical 8-hour shift, you know. It was a
Yeah.
simple schedule. But then when we moved to 12s was when I got fucked over because it was like I had a steady schedule. Now I'm working 12s along with taking 3 classes and I'm taking math at that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what the fuck. But I'm eventually gonna get back into reading them. I'm gonna be taking notes. I'm gonna learn, grasp as much information as I can per book.
Well, yeah, shoot, that's a great thing. You know what they say, knowledge is power. And yeah, I mean, I know you'll still be working, but isn't Christmas break coming up for your school?
So not necessarily. So I have my finals next week, and I'll pretty much be done with these 2 classes right now.
Yeah.
But a week after that, I'm taking 3 more classes. It's a short little 5-week class, but for all of them, it's 5 weeks. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be pretty fucking busy for those classes.
Damn.
But after that, I'll take 2 classes and then I'll be leaving in April. Hopefully I can have internet access when I'm over there, because then I'll just be taking classes like a MF, you know, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then hopefully within a year I'll have my associates, and then I'll have like a year left of just freedom. I'm probably gonna work towards my bachelor's after that. Within that year, at least start my bachelor's. Hopefully I can do it all online and, you know, work at it little by little. And I'll be like 3/4 of the way there, and then I can just get out of the military and continue school and eventually have my master's and my doctorates. I just have to get through what I'm going through now. I still have ways to go, bro. Like, there's a lot.
Well, I mean, like I said, although everything may not be ideal right now, for sure, you know, take advantage of everything that you're going through. And I know you're writing down a journal. You can kind of even use that journal with your studies as well.
Dude.
See how you're handling things and how you can apply that to others.
So I actually started writing this, not necessarily a book, but more like an article. Not even an article. It's more like, I'll just say it's a book. All right. It's called My Personal Rules for Life. I actually want to send it to you and see if you agree with it or not. You know.
Yeah.
It's based on my personal experience. These are my personal rules for life, and it's a lot of reading. I will tell you that. Like, I know you don't like reading, or like, I know of all the stuff that I made you read in my past is a lot, but this is actually a lot. It's literally 5 pages right now, and I typed it. I'm actually going to send it to you as we speak. You don't have to read it, but if you get a chance to, I'd appreciate it if you did. And just let me know your thoughts on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because definitely after this podcast, I need to go take a massive dump, and I'll finally have something to read.
You're gonna take a massive dump?
But yeah, I mean after this, yeah, definitely not right now.
Well, make sure you get back with me when you do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll even be sure to send a picture of my poop.
And just tell me what you think about it, you know? your thoughts on it. What if you agree or if you disagree?
Oh yeah, for sure thing. I'll be sure to send my feedback.
It's a lot of reading, but
Oh
it's just
yeah.
I'm still working on it at the moment, but that's what I got so far. It's still in the works. It's still being worked on. But for it just me starting off, the fact that I got like 5 pages in is actually kind of crazy. I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about now.
Shoot, 5 pages, double space, 12 times New Roman. I forgot
No,
all the stupid requirements they made us have in school. So
so fun fact: these are not double spaced or put in Romans or anything like that. This is my own thing. Like this is me writing it my way. You know, I didn't double
yeah,
space or anything. I wrote it my way in my liking, to my liking.
yeah,
But yes, the essays do have to be double spaced, and you have to be in Roman, whatever you said. They have to be at least 12 font. You know, so it's good.
half-inch margins.
Yep, half page margins. Pretty much, yeah.
God, like I remember I got so many bad grades in freaking English just because of the fact that I didn't do my margins right, and it wasn't even my fault because like the damn writing software that I was using, like for some reason my computer would not use Microsoft Word, so I had to use the built-in Notes app, and God, like it was hard just trying to like format it to the way they wanted it
Dude,
to.
I will say this, bro. Like, as much as I'm really bad at taking tests, as much as I'm really bad at studying, as much as it's really hard for me to retain information, I will say I can write essays like nothing. I'm not even saying this to like big dick or brag about myself. I'm actually saying this because this is actually something that I've been really successful at since I started college. Like I don't know what it is or how that happened, but like I suck at taking tests. But you throw an essay at me, I will pass that essay with at least a 90.
Hell yeah, freaking essay gang over here.
But when it comes to taking tests, when it comes to reading information and retaining it, I suck at that. I can't take a shit. I can't take a shit. I can't take a test to fucking save my life, dude. I can't.
Oh man, you
But
know
if
what
you
they?
let me write about it, if you let me write an essay about it, I can show you that I actually know what I'm talking about, you know?
Oh yeah, like there's a reason why we Hispanics. There's a reason why we always go, "Hey, essay, I'm really good at making essays." Essay.
I guess so. I guess. But I will say, like, ever since I started college, I have become a better, well-rounded person. If that makes sense, I have become a better person ever since I started college. Cause I'm taking this political science class right now, and you know me, I don't really like politics. I don't really like to talk about politics. I don't like to get near politics. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure.
like I hate talking about politics. I hated bringing up. I hate the word politics. But with this class, you kind of have to be political. You kind of have to talk about things, you know?
Yeah.
And the professor I have, he's fucking cool as shit. I love the guy. He's actually he actually helped me out a lot in my class, in this class, you know? I was very lucky to have him as a professor. And you know, like when someone talks, it changes the way you think. You know, you really listen to his lectures, and it's like it changed your whole perspective on what politics really are and what they should be and shit like that. Like and it's not necessarily that he talks about politics. He just talks about the situations that caused politics, you know, that involved politics, you know.
Yeah.
Like he bring up a lot of healthcare stuff, a lot of immigration, a lot of economical problems that are going on the earth and in our country, like just the main problems. But he doesn't really talk about it in a political way, but he talks about it in a philosophical way, you know, philosophy, you know.
Interesting.
Like, it's not necessarily like his lectures aren't really like you're there to learn. He really just explains to you what they. It's really hard to say, really hard to explain. Like you have to be there to understand what I'm talking about. Like I just love the way he lectures. Like it changes your whole mindset of what is and what isn't. You know, and
It's like it keeps things open ended. Allows you to draw your own conclusions.
the way he lectures actually makes you think. Like he makes you think. He actually makes you like sit down, actually think to yourself. Wow, like questions your own political views and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much that goes into that shit too. It's like he'll show you videos, he'll show you a lot of shit that's happened in history, and it's like, okay, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah. Man. Like I remember, like back in high school, I don't know if you had him, but I had this teacher. I think his name was like Mr. Lawhorn or something like that. But man, he was pretty cool too. And let me tell you, his political opinions, he was not afraid to like say them. He couldn't give a damn what anybody else would say about it. But then like
That's
at the
good.
same time, he would like he wouldn't try to persuade anybody to his side, but he would like he'd be like, just think about this, think about like what you're going for, think about what like why you're thinking this way and all that, like take time to think, don't be part of the collective, and he especially made it clear when we were reading that book, Brave New World, in a world where everybody just kind of follows, the collective, and like, oh, I definitely changed the way I looked at like not just politics, but like how I view life, in general. I don't want to follow the crowd. Like you know.
There's actually a psychology behind that, right?
Really?
There's this thing called the bandwagon effect that I read in psychology, and pretty much what it is that if one person does one thing, the other person will do the same thing. He'll follow you, pretty much. So,
oh yeah,
there's also this thing called a domino effect. I'm pretty sure you've heard of this before, but it's pretty much like
yeah.
it's pretty much one domino goes down, he knocks out the rest of the dominoes. It's like one thing will affect the next thing will affect the next thing, and the next thing after that. So everything that we do, and people watch us, they're more likely to copy us. If that makes sense. Like we're more likely to copy the mass majority versus our own point of views.
Oh yeah, we call those people normies.
Yeah. Kind of like, fuck. I'm trying to think. I don't know why I can't really think today. I'm kind of just like, like whenever you're trying to think about something, you're trying to like explain yourself and shit. I know I mentioned this already, but when you try to explain yourself, you can't really explain yourself because your mind just keeps going blank, or you keep having brain farts and shit.
Oh yeah, every podcast that I do improv, yep, that's exactly how I am.
That's how I am right now. I'm trying to explain something that I've learned, but it's like I can't really remember it. But I know as soon as we end this podcast, it's gonna click and be like, oh shit, why didn't I fucking explain it this way? Like honestly. Like I'm be honest with you, bro. I was in the middle of an essay when I called you, but I'd rather talk to you for a little bit, then work on my essay than to just let it go. Because when I do my essay, I kind of wait for inspiration and then I start writing, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably gonna be up all night just working on this one essay, and I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, and work on that last essay I have to do. Cause, like I said, I procrastinate, and I got 2 essays I have to write, and they're due Tuesday, and I'm barely doing them now.
You just play a little game, like do both of them at the same time, and then it's okay if you mix the sentences here and there. Just tell them, oh, it's like a puzzle. Just read both essays back to back.
I'm not doing that, bro. But you've read essays before, right?
Oh yeah, lots of time.
So you've done a research essay before too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. God, like, actually,
So
I think those are my favorite ones to do. Actually.
so I have a really dumb question to ask you because it's been a while since I've done a research essay. I've done a lot of essays while I'm in college, but I haven't really done a research essay where you have to actually research something and shit, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you research something, do you use anything you can find on the internet, or can you? Let's say if I read about something, can I just use that source? How would I cite it? How would I, you know, put it in the paper? If that makes sense.
Let's see. Well, definitely for starters, you definitely have to make sure you have an entire separate page just for your works cited. And then
I do.
I use this a website called EasyBib. And then with that, like you can select what kind of format you need for the paper and what kind of uh what kind of source it is that you need in the site.
You,
You know, like
you
whether
said
it's
Easy Bib.
Easy BIB, yeah. And like it'll give you options too, like whether it's like a book, a magazine, a movie, or it doesn't matter what it is. It'll let you choose what kind of like format of how like you need to what you gonna cite it. It definitely helped me a lot. Saved me from having a whole bunch of bad grades back in the day.
And it'll cite it for you, kind of thing.
Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. Like you just type in the necessary information, like the name of the book or whatever, and it'll lay it out all for you. And all you gotta do is copy and paste.
Okay, so I'm actually thinking about because this research paper I have to do is for political science, and it's you pretty much have to choose an issue that's going on with our country, any issue, because every issue becomes a political issue, right? And so
Yeah.
the topic that I chose was healthcare, and I'm writing about pretty much the problems of the healthcare system and how we can make it better, you know. And pretty much what I'm going to talk about is how some healthcare companies don't cover certain sicknesses, you know, like how prescriptions are really expensive, but sometimes the insurance won't cover it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm also going to talk a lot about mental health along with the fucking healthcare system, you know, and I'm planning on using one of my books that I've read as an example, as one of my sources, you know.
Yeah.
And what if I wanted to use a YouTube video? Can I do that too?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see. I think on the website where you choose like what kind of source it is, I think it might be titled simply internet video or like maybe a video website. But still, yeah, same
So
concept.
just I'm asking another dumb question. I probably just asked you, but like when you do research paper, you can research anywhere you want. Like you don't have to research based on the internet. Like if I want to use a book or a movie or some shit like that, I can do that, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay. I appreciate you. I haven't done a research paper in a long time.
Yeah, like same here. Well, then again, I mean to be fair, I'm also hadn't been to school since 2018, but yeah, like, oof. I'm surprised I even remembered the whole easy bib thing.
Well, we're at an hour and 2 minutes. Do you want to end it now and just talk on the phone, or?
I see. I mean, if you got any more, if you got anything more else to say on the podcast, go ahead and say it.
I got nothing else to say, bro. I actually ran out of topics.
Alrighty, well then this will be
Like,
a pretty good stopping point then.
I actually have to work on this essay, to be honest. It's due Tuesday, and I'm over here fucking goofing around.
I mean, you know what they say: if it's due tomorrow, do it tomorrow.
I'm being dead ass serious, bro. Like, I have to write a 3-page essay, and I have to write a 4-page essay after that.
Oh man, oh no.
Like, I know I said I'm good at essays and shit, but I be working on this shit last minute, and I feel like I feel like it could be a lot better product if I actually took my time and actually did it, you know?
Well, I mean, you never know. Some people work a lot better.
All right. Alrighty, so hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Asiago back at you again on 3 a.m. Thoughts. Alright, and so today we got a special guest on the show. His name is Chad, yeah, from the podcast of the same name. So the quality ain't gonna sound, as good as it usually does, because this was done on Anchor, first of all, but it was also done on the little call feature on freaking Anchor. I'm not sure what you call it. Basically recorded both of us over the app, over the internet, and yeah, it's just not gonna sound as good, but you know what though, the content is still pretty damn good, so we're gonna go ahead and just give it to you right now. All right, here we go.